This ICE protest, this anti-ICE protest that's going on in LA right now. I want to break this down and analyze this from a different perspective because these people are outrageous. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Again, with breaking news in downtown Los Angeles, thousands are marching as part of a day of action, calling for an end of funding for ICE. And just in the last 30 minutes, things have taken a turn outside the federal building. This is a live look from Skyfox, and you see it becoming more and more chaotic. We want to welcome you to the Fox 11 News at 5 o'clock on Fox 11 Plus. I'm Marla Tejas, here for Christine Devine. In LA and across the U.S., a national shutdown in protest of ICE immigration enforcement. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez. She's live in downtown LA where the turnout, it is massive and things are getting rowdy. Christina.
Definitely in the last half an hour. I had to put this down because they've been occasionally gassing the crowd. Let me show you what's going on over here at the detention center, the front of it. We've been here before. The crowd has amassed in this area. We got a few hundred people, and you might see that, there's some bottle throwing. They seem to be trying to get in. Every once in a while, you'll see gas going at the crowd and the crowd back up.
Y'all ain't got nothing else better to do. No, for real, for real. There's real situations going on in the world. People with real life problems that's going on in the world. Instead of y'all out here protesting, why aren't y'all trying to figure out ways to help those immigrants, that may not necessarily be doing anything bad? Why aren't you trying to help them and create programs for them or create a fund so that way they can have the money in order to expedite the process of them becoming legal citizens? I don't understand this. I don't. This is so stupid.
Let me now show you to the other side. This is, again, the front of the group that you're looking at, a rather large group, but the more in-your-face group that is an offspring of what started today as a very peaceful situation. Let's go to that. Many heard the call for a national shutdown in downtown Los Angeles. No school, no work, no shopping.
For real, Mary, all the money in Minnesota, huh?
Calling for a nationwide day of action.
I am the grandson of someone who marched from Selma to Montgomery. And the only way you make change in this country is to get out there and protest.
And of course, this action here, there is just hundreds and hundreds of people.
Y'all notice how nobody, anytime somebody's protesting, it's always the government's fault. Nobody's actually putting forth any action to try to help these people that are in these, I guess, trying situations. But you want to march, you want to protest, you want to spend your money on signs and markers to draw up signs and all this extra stuff. But yet you refuse to try to come together to try to figure out how you can help the process for these people who are illegal immigrants. I'm not understanding. Mind your black business. Hey, I agree. I 110% agree. Mind your business. Mind your white business. Mind your black business. Mind your Hispanic business. If you aren't illegal and you're a legal citizen, mind your business. Mind your business, bro. It ain't got nothing to do with you. This ain't your fight. It's really not. It's not your fight. I get it. There are some people, it's humility. It's nope. You're illegal. Now, if you want to help, figure out ways on the back end where you can help them out. Other than that, this protesting ain't gonna cut it, bro.
It is stifling through the crowd. It starts out like a rally and pretty much just people gathering. And it is by no means the only of these events happening in Southern California. Skyfox over the downtown rally, pretty huge. But also they were over this one in Woodland Hills, another one in Santa Monica, this group here in Pasadena, another one in Burbank, and on the ground in Studio City, students rallying on the corner of Laurel Canyon and Ventura. In downtown, more students from East LA.
Everyone here is related to an immigrant. If your family is okay, you don't care. But until your family's gone, everything breaks down for you.
Some businesses closing down, like Stronghold climbing down Jim and Echo Park, where the owner tells Fox 11.
It's personal. It's our city. And we're angry. And of course we're angry because we're being overrun by thugs.
Other businesses like North Hollywood's Tejano planning to open, supporting the protest with donations. Still, there were plenty of people doing shopping at markets, coffee shops. And this man continued cleaning bus stops in North Hollywood.
Look at that.
And horseshoers in Pacoima say
Look
off
at that.
camera they
Minding their
couldn't
own
join
business.
the
They
rallies
working.
as much as they wanted to join those who could.
Look, you see the difference between the two. They out here working. They're minding their own business. They getting to their money while everybody out here in the streets doing nothing, just screaming, yelling, crying, and fussing and putting up signs and ain't got shit else going on. My guy AR Smitty, what's up with you, big dog? I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you. I've been reading the super chats in a hot minute, dog. I appreciate you. This is crazy.
Like this woman with her daughters, who says that little one holding the Stop Killing People sign is the same baby strapped to her chest in this photo at a protest 8 years ago.
I always tell my children to stand up for what's right.
Don't you get afraid for them sometimes? I mean, these things can get crazy.
It only really gets crazy when they tell people to go home and they don't go home.
And back here live, we're giving you a picture from the ground and what it looks like from the air to give you a good sense of what's happening here. No, to the woman's point, we have not had an order of dispersal here. We have not seen LAPD or any local authority, but at the same time, as you can see the crowd, there's been some bottle throwing. There's definitely some attempts to get a lot closer to the detention center doors that I think they want them to be. We've been gassed a couple of times. I do expect this to continue in that kind of mode for some time. We'll have to see what happens. I'm Christina Gonzalez live at the detention center. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Christina, we want to stay with the shot because it's pretty riveting at this point. We're seeing the flags being waved, Mexican flags, of course, down below among those. And then we're seeing law enforcement with their shields up. We see a whole lot of debris strewn about. This is from the Skyfox vantage point. Christina, when you say that you've been gassed, is that by fellow protesters out there or is that from law enforcement?
No. A couple of times, law enforcement, federal officials have tried to move the crowd away from getting too close to the door. And so they throw some gas at them to move them back, and then move them back, and then they come back in. The bottles that you see on the ground have come from the ground. They periodically start throwing stuff at them, and then they stop for a while. This is the dance.
Oh, so they throwing stuff too. I thought it was supposed to be a peaceful protest. I thought it was supposed to be a peaceful protest. That's what I thought. But you throwing stuff. They can be looked at as assault. But yet, they're innocent. They're innocent civilians. Now, I'm not saying all of them are out there throwing stuff, but there are select few out there that's throwing stuff. They're out there doing. I'm telling you. They tell us to open our eyes and see what's going on. We look and see what's going on. We can see with our own eyes. Regardless of what they're saying on the news, we can see with our own eyes what's going on out here. This is crazy.
As it were, that happened.
Yeah, this is LA.
I will tell you that speaking to the organizers of the original rally today, this was not part of what they had in mind. They wanted to stay in front of City Hall. They knew there were going to be groups coming here, and these things are very organic. So you see what happens generally as the sun goes down, and the majority of the families and the people who were here, I'm talking about hundreds of people, they have left. Some of them remain, but little by little we do see people leaving, and a different type of crowd, no less vocal, no less emotional about it, no less hard feeling about it, but ready to be a little bit more in your face, much more active about it. At the same time, I got to tell you, a couple of federal vehicles have been able to get in and out.
Democracy needs our rage. See how she highlighted it in red, our rage.
Without problem, which I thought there was going to be a problem, and that's a credit to them.
The federal vehicles that you're mentioning, did they carry inside detainees?
No, we didn't. They were just the federal vehicles bringing in people. This has not gotten to the proportions. We have not seen anybody brought in. As a matter of fact, as long as we've been here, this has been going on and off for the last couple of hours. And, we'll see what happens. Eventually, hopefully, it will not get to the point that you see a couple of people moving back. We might be now, okay. They start hearing noise and people start moving back because there's a certain sound to when they start using the non or the less than lethal. But I haven't seen any gas in the last half hour or so.
I think I may have seen a flash or something.
We'll have to see what
happens. Shot. Okay, and we do, note we're seeing.
And then that's the point, though. You right. No, you correct. Nobody claimed to be peaceful. You're right. Nobody claimed to be peaceful. But guess what? There's consequences when you aren't peaceful. Is it not? So with that, there shouldn't be any outrage. If you decide to have a peaceful protest and just protest peacefully, there won't be any issues. But when you decide to have rage and you decide to take action, guess what happens? You fuck around and find out. That's what happens. When you fuck with federal agents, guess what? You find out. Make it make sense.
A lot of politically correct signs, if you will, without obscenity.
I'm pretty sure they might be getting paid. I'm 100% sure they probably are.
Which side of the aisle you stand on, but I just want to.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Viewers, if you do see some profanity, it can be a little difficult in a fluid situation like that. So just take that for what it's worth. Christina, the turning point when this went from calm to more chaotic, is it simply because it's now 5 o'clock, the sun will be setting soon, or was there a pivotal moment that changed the vibe?
No, I think what happened is a lot of people decided that there was a big march that we had started here, and a lot of people went to East LA, and that large group decided to go towards Boyle Heights. Some of the groups stayed here at about 4
this ain't got nothing to do
o'clock,
with martial law.
Happens when it starts getting darker. People started to go home, and the crowd.
It's helping clean. It's supposed to be helping clean up the streets. That's what's supposed to be going on. But when you got your mayor and your governor going against the grain and not allowing your police to police the people for the city like they're supposed to be fucking doing, keeping the peace, that's when things become an outrage. ICE is there for one specific reason. They're not there to do anything else. They're there for the illegal criminal immigrants. That's who they are there for. But when you got individuals like these protesters out here, when they're impeding, when they're agitating, when they're getting in the way of what they're supposed to be doing, when they're supposed to be doing their job that the president told them to go do, when you get in the way of that, it becomes an issue. Again, why don't we hear this happening in Memphis? Because this ain't only happening in Minnesota. This isn't only happening in Chicago. It's happening in LA, happening in a lot of different places. But for some reason, we only hear about it. We only heard about it in Minnesota, and we hear a lot about it in LA with all these protests going on. Why is that? Why is that? Is it because it's a sanctuary city?
To change a little bit.
I wish this is one thing I did. I remember I was on Instagram, right? And I was telling somebody, it was like, well, Trump is a pedophile and all this extra stuff, right? I said, listen, until you can prove with hardcore evidence, I'm talking hardcore, irrefutable evidence, and he gets indicted, he goes to jail. Until that happens, I'm not calling nobody anything. I'm not just going to call somebody a fascist because I don't like them. I'm not going to call somebody a racist just because I don't like them. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to judge somebody on the court of public opinion. I'm not going to do that. I'm not like y'all. And Linda, you sound Lindsay, you sound just as dumb. You sound just as dumb. You sound just as dumb. Well, first of all, Hood, I need you to spell correctly. No, I didn't, Lindsay, but go ahead.
That is when, this started to get a little bit more
You say
active
so,
this way.
you say so, Lindsay.
And,
You just
apologies from my end as well. We're trying to do what we can. We don't want to have signs that are offensive to people who may be watching. If you're at home and you have your kids at home, keep in mind that we can only do what we can do.
Absolutely.
The same thing with people screaming in the background. So, but our apologies. Now, I don't know if you can see because you have a better view right now than me from the helicopter, actually, if you have it. But I do see a group of people kind of approaching. And when you start seeing the umbrellas go up, and you start seeing certain kinds of things happen in the crowd, it's like somebody's getting ready for something in there. I'm not in there. You see, I don't know if you see.
Go ahead.
The interesting
we'll see.
part
We'll have
from
to see what
Skybox,
happens.
Christina, if I can just jump in, is the crowd has
You don't need to announce. You don't need to announce that you blocked me. I really don't care. You act like I give a fuck.
Wait, who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man.
certainly been
don't
pushed
care.
back. I don't know if they voluntarily, it didn't take a lot of coaxing, it seems, because now there is quite a bit of distance ultimately, except for a few of those protesters who do stand pretty close to the shielded officers right there at the entrance way. And one in particular, when we had a close-up shot, was holding a combo flag of Mexico and the United States.
Yes, and I don't know if you can see they're beginning to throw bottles again. And I just saw a guy come in with some barricades, a protester, and he's holding 2 or 3 barricades under his arm. He's making his way into the middle of the crowd. What that usually means is that they're going to set them up between themselves and the officers.
Prove it,
and
Bonnie.
Eventually, to protect themselves and to throw them at them. That's usually what happens. At least that's what I have seen in the past. So they're definitely getting ready for an escalation at some point. Hopefully nobody will get hurt here.
And is it fair to say that collectively, those out there, and it may not be every single person, but ultimately the goal here is to abolish ICE or defund?
The people I talk to would like to see both. A lot of them would like to see at least some kind of defunding. What they would like most
defunding of what? Defunding of what? Defunding of what? ICE? For what? Because y'all feel some type of way? Because y'all been getting along this far, because Biden been letting y'all ass in droves. And now all of a sudden, when somebody steps in and say, nah, big dog, you got to come in the correct way. All of a sudden, now we want to defund. Bro, man, if y'all don't sit the fuck down somewhere, bro, I swear. I literally just did a live stream on what's going on out here in Arizona. There was just a shooting with the Border Patrol officer and an illegal immigrant who was trafficking. He was trafficking illegals over here to the United States. They got in the shootout. He got caught up. Buddy was getting paid, I believe, in between $8,000 to $14,000 per person. Per person, fam. Per person. Just to traffic these individuals into the United States. But y'all say, oh, what about they're just going after the innocent ones? No, they're not. It's the ones that's supposedly supposed to be innocent. They're the ones that's getting in the way of them doing their job. This is crazy. Yeah, brother. Both of them. Over here in AZ, bro. It just happened. I think it was Tuesday, I believe. I think it happened just this past Tuesday. It just happened. There was a there was a shootout. Exactly, Funky, exactly.
That's what we're doing. People are telling us that they are gassing people over here to the right. And thank you. Let's see if we can get some of that now.
I don't need to listen to the victims, Bonnie, because at the end of the day, anybody can claim to be a victim when there ain't shit going on. How many times have we seen somebody claim something happened to them when it ain't really happened? Listen, when there's irrefutable evidence that nobody can deny, then we can have a discussion. Until that happens, until we see Trump as get put in handcuffs and sent to jail, then we can have a discussion. Until that, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not calling nobody anything that I don't have irrefutable evidence on or hardcore evidence. I'm not doing it. I don't care what a victim says. I don't care what anybody says. Because why? I think for myself. I'm not going to listen to what the news says and say, oh, well, he's a pedophile. No. I know how to sit back and wait for the hardcore evidence to come out, and then say, oh, damn, that's crazy. Because I'm not saying he's guilty or he's innocent, but I'm not going to sit here and just judge somebody on the court of a public opinion. I'm not going to do that. Just because you want to do that, because you probably have a disdain for him already. So anything negative that's said about him already, you're already going to say, you know what? I'm going to go with that. I believe it too. I believe it because I can't stand Trump. I can't. I hate his guts. But just a minute ago, before he decided to become president, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him before he decided to become a Republican. They loved him when he was a Democrat. They had everything good to say about him. Everybody wanted to be cool with him. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Y'all some fair weather fans. Y'all fair weather. Y'all fair weather.
Smoke.
Yes, we have a clear view.
So, okay, so that they're beginning to try to push them back. And the situation, although your question earlier, I think what they would like to see is to stop seeing images of what looks like ICE officers abusing people out on the streets. That's the least of what they'd like to see. A lot of people would like to see the stop of all actions by ICE. They would like them to stop going through their neighborhoods, arresting people who are here just because they're here illegally. A lot of people talked about that. One thing that surprised me is there were a lot of middle-class folks from the Orange County area, for example, the kinds of people, not right now, but earlier, that I think those images, what they are seeing happening, around the country, it's beginning to make a difference. One after another and after another, whether they're right or wrong, whoever is right or wrong, and I'm not going to even attempt, no matter what, those images are beginning to make an impact on that middle of the road human being, that middle class voter that perhaps voted for Trump. And is saying, well, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. I don't, even as some admit that some of the protesters get in the faces of the officers, and we could go back and forth in that, but those images, I will tell you, are making a difference, because a lot of the people who came here that I have not seen in these crowds before are saying that's what drew them here.
Yeah, so in other words, they are taking umbrage with the Trump policy of immigration enforcement. Some would argue, would say that, and we're looking live at it, I don't know if this was what sort of a structure this is here, but we're seeing protesters knock something over right here in front of the loading dock, and they were successful in doing so, whatever that was. They just physically knocked something over. This is from Skyfox, Christina, just for your knowledge.
And guess what? They're going to have to spend more money to get all that shit fixed that y'all up here complaining about. Well, y'all so dumb. Y'all some dummies. Y'all some dummies.
What I was saying was...
Yeah, I'm outside that...
No, go ahead.
I can't see that point of view because I'm right outside.
There you go. There it is. There it is. There it is. BS, the women who have already provided proof. You obviously don't have a female in your life who can relate to assault. Trump admits what he's done. He doesn't care. Cry me a river, man. Cry me a river. When he's in jail, when they put them cuffs on him, then we can have a conversation. Until then, all that, don't really care for. I don't. So guess what you can do?
Shut up!
Exactly.
So I can't, you have a better view from a helicopter than me. I see the edge of what you're talking about, yeah.
And I was just getting into, over the weekend after the
What up,
Alex Preddy shooting death, Trump seemingly backing off, or at least lessening the tone of how he was going about, the administration was going about immigration enforcement. Obviously, this is a nationwide event that's happening today. And in fact, eventually we will get
Man,
to the other
if you
parts
don't
of the
sit the
country
hell
and show
down,
you
Bonnie.
it's not just
Bonnie,
here in
get out.
Los Angeles,
Bonnie, you
not at
bugging
all.
now.
Christina,
bugging, Bonnie.
about the gas that is being. Go ahead.
You definitely want it. You definitely wild.
Tear gas. Yes, as a matter of fact, I was just going to tell you, I see
Why
some
you gotta be so mean?
officers from the back here coming out. We'll see what happens, but they may be bringing out some more tear gas. And so they may be beginning to move this crowd back
you saying I don't know nothing because I don't agree with you. That's why you saying I don't know anything, because I don't agree with you. That's the difference. See the difference between you and I is that I don't have to throw any attacks at you. I can just tell you shut up. Or I can just go back and forth and I can just disagree with you. But see, these are the emotions that you have running through you right now. I don't have any emotions running through me right now. I'm just talking to have a conversation. It's the difference between you and I.
About it. I think the line that somebody said to me today that made me think, again, I'm not going to get political or take a side.
The fact that I even told you, I said, listen, I'm not going to judge somebody in the court of public opinion. I'm not going to do that. I would have to wait until irrefutable evidence. I don't know why I got to keep saying that to you. Irrefutable evidence that proves otherwise. When he got the handcuffs on him, clean, his ass going into the jail. Going into the jail. Then we can have a conversation. But for somehow the emotions that's running through your mind and your body right now, you can't seem to respect that. You can't seem to understand that. I can respect your take. I can say, listen, bro, even though I disagree with you, I can say, you know what? I hear you, I feel you, but yet you got it. I respect that you're gonna stand 10 toes on what you believe, but understand something. I disagree with you. Simple as that. But hey, do your thing, man. Do your thing.
On this, but for some of those people, what they said was this: when cruelty becomes normal on my television screen, then kindness looks radical.
Okay, Bonnie Kirkland.
And that, there's a thought. This is from a middle-class person.
Right.
That is not, has never been to a protest and has never been in any of this. When people like that are saying things like that, the administration may want to listen to them. I don't know.
Are you finding
that's just a better way to do the job visually?
Are you finding that the vast majority of those in downtown Los Angeles today are from the greater LA area?
Who we got next?
Oh no, we had people here.
Let's go to the next. Let's see what angle CNN got for us. Let's see the angle CNN got.
Breaking news out of Los Angeles, where the FBI says it is investigating clashes between law enforcement and demonstrators. These clashes began Friday when crowds gathered around federal law enforcement officers carrying out.
Hey, nah, man. listen, nah, fam. I gotta have it. I gotta have the pinky up. You feel me?
Out immigration raids in that area, and today, we're seeing police using tear gas and flashbangs to clear the crowds. California Assemblymember Jose Luis Salache, who witnessed what was unfolding there, is joining us now on the phone. Assemblyman, thank you so much for being here with us. I know you represent the area, Paramount, where we've been seeing some of this happen. Describe to us what you saw today.
Correct. I've been here since 9 a.m. when we first saw the agents drive up to my community. I was actually on the freeway with one of the vans from Border Patrol. And then I did a U-turn type of situation. I followed them and they were here in my community. There were 7 agents waiting to open their fence. Throughout the morning, there's about 60 different vehicles I've driven in there. 25 of them plus are Border Patrol logo vehicles. And then about 30 plus vehicles were unmarked vehicles, SUVs. And right now I'm here with my community. There's about 60 Border Patrol agents. They're there with guns. They're there, they're having a staging process. Of course, community's out here strong, opposing these raids in our community in Los Angeles. I represent this district, and our community is strongly here opposing this.
And we're looking at live video while you're talking. I see a lot of smoke. There were some small fires, it looked like. In the distance from where we're looking at on this video, we can see people who appear to be gathered together, and we're seeing some sort of agents as well. We had a spokesperson from DHS saying that that these protesters were in a sense violent, that's what they're trying to push back against. Has that been your experience?
There's definitely a variety of demonstrators. I have to be objective here, and there's some people that are, of course, are angry, they're passionate about why the agents are here. And you have a variety of folks that obviously are here peacefully, and there are people who are a little more aggressive, and that's just being objective. But of course, community is upset of why they're even here in our community.
Right.
And I represent a very high immigrant, high undocumented community in my district, which we're proud of the work that we all contribute to this country. These are not criminals. These are people that are hardworking people that are contributing. And of course, that's what people are angry about. You're going to come and you're doing raids and looking for people that are at their workplace, at contributing to this country, and they're not criminals.
Oh,
that's what people are upset about.
Oh, they out there popping them with paintball guns. Pink, 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 pink. Oh, buddy got paintball guns waiting. They waiting for him. Pink, pink, pink.
Oh, including myself.
And it's 2:02 there, Los Angeles time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Ted Coach Ralph. A lot of these, you know what pisses me off? A lot of people they got this fake outrage, bro. They got this fake humility as if they're so highly moral. I mean, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe half of y'all. Half of those people that's out there protesting right now, I don't believe half of them. I don't believe half of them. And they be the main ones in their own city fucking up the whole goddamn city. But you supposed to love the city that you live in. And you out there fucking it up. Come on, man. And y'all call that peaceful. Man, all right.
You're where you are. How long do you expect this to go on? Does it appear that this is going to continue?
I made my own calls to, of course, the governor's office, to folks that we need to de-escalate this. They need to send these people home so that our community can go home and stop this. And we need to de-escalate the situation because people are upset.
I beg your finest pardon. You say, yeah, you're ghetto. Well, first of all, you use the word, you're wrong. But your ghetto ass on talk shit now. What? On talk shit now. You said I'll be your damn mighty high class necklace on drinking whiskey and talking shit. You're what? Listen. Hey, calm down. Pay attention to what you're typing so that we can understand what it is that you're actually saying. Calm down. Matter of fact, how about you go have a drink so you can calm your nerves a little bit, because you're getting a little antsy. Getting a little antsy right now. You too jittery. You're trying to hurry up and get it out. Listen, if you want me, I promise you, if you really want me to start pulling up everything that you say, just go ahead and put one in the super chat.
I don't know how long it's going to be here. I came here since 9 a.m. myself with community, and they've been standing their stage there. And we've seen throughout the morning different vehicles leaving the facility. And so we have a feeling that they're doing raids throughout the Los Angeles area.
And we have word now that the FBI is investigating what's going on.
That's the thing, Pete. All of this shit is a distraction. All of this is a distraction because as soon as this shit came up, Nick Shirley, as soon as he did all of that, guess what? We haven't heard anything else. About the fraud. We haven't heard. There hadn't been any talks about it. Nobody's talking about it. They're talking about all these protests to distract you. What's going on over there in Minnesota? That was the reason all of this shit jumped off in the first place. But they don't want to have that conversation because now they want to talk about, we want to talk about Alex Preedy. We want to talk about Renee Good, the ones who was the agitators, right? The agitators. We want to talk about them. The ones who aren't peacefully protesting, right? The ones who are impeding on their federal investigations, right? we want to talk about that. That's what they want to talk about. They don't want to go back over here and talk about what Tim Walz and them doing, how the mayor, how Frey is over there allowing all this fraud shit to go over there in his city. They don't want to talk about that. But I digress. And got the do-rag on, the chain on, drinking the yike. And his pinky are living ghetto fabulous. Listen, the only reason, look, to be 110% honest, bro, the only reason I still have my do-rag on is because I do the wash method. You know, after I cut my hair, I gotta do the wave. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing and training on the waves, man. That's the only reason I got my do-rag on. Other than that, I would have it off. I wouldn't even have my do-rag on right now. But I was like, nah, I done already did the wash method. I done put the wave grease in it. I'm good, so I'm just gonna let the do-rag rock out. That's it. That's the only reason. They should just defund those states, put Border Patrol on the border or sanctuary states. Yeah, I agree.
Seen any FBI agents or anyone like that where you are?
Not as of now. Again, I've seen Border Patrol vests and uniforms that they're wearing. The agents.
Home Depot baskets.
Of course, they've been gassing people as they get close to them. Anytime that with vehicles leave the facility or the parking lot, they throw they're gassing people so they can move away from the area, and so these vehicles leave the premises.
And how
I have not seen anyone from the FBI here yet.
Yeah. How often would you say you're hearing these flashbangs or seeing this tear gas deployed?
It's been throughout the morning. To be honest with you, I actually was close to them, just monitoring the situation. I was affected myself earlier because they were shooting toward the area where I was standing. Of course, I ran through that, and it was the first time I ever got gas in my eyes, and of course, the coughing. So it's my first time experiencing it. It's not a good feeling.
And have you seen anyone be detained or arrested?
We did see about 4 people that were arrested that were demonstrators. They were on this side of the fence demonstrating. Again, I can't justify why they were being detained, but obviously they were demonstrating against the agents being here physically in our community.
Yeah. And again, just to underscore what you were saying, it sounds like, based on your description, that the demonstrators that are gathering range in peaceful demonstrators to some who are being more aggressive, who are physically pushing back.
They've been upset. I think that they get closer to the agents, of course, right? So of course the agents are doing their part to show their part, right?
Exactly.
But people are demonstrating, and there's a lot of peaceful demonstration. But there are people that obviously are just upset, and they're showing their anger through that. I have encouraged people through my social media to please be peaceful as they're demonstrating. Do not use violence. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to add to their narrative. We want to make sure that people are demonstrating. We live in a democratic process where people can express their feelings and how they're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfectly fine. Do your protest. It ain't gonna help nothing, but do your protest. But the moment that you start to get violent, the moment that you start to get outside yourself, and because you're so angry, you're so emotional, you can't control those emotions inside, and you decide to put your hands on a federal agent, guess what? You might have to feel something hot. You might feel something hot in your body. Not saying that. Listen. Y'all gotta understand, bro. Y'all gotta understand. I know a lot of y'all on the outside looking in. Oh, well, you should be able to have better control over yourself than that. Listen. At the end of the day, regardless of how trained they are, they still are human beings. If they feel the slightest bit, look at what happened to Ilhan Omar. Even though old buddy was shooting out, even though old buddy shot out some apple cider vinegar, we don't know what that was. We don't know what that could have been. So to allow somebody to get within your bubble of who you are, get in your bubble, even if you are a federal agent. Listen, bro, if you 6 feet, if I can touch you, I can put my hands on you, you too close. Get back. And if you even look like you about to do something, I'm on your ass. Simple as that. But for the people who've never been in situations like that before, they wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't understand that. They just look at it, oh my God, you should know better. You are a police officer, you're an ICE agent, you should have the training of it. Go to the one. How about you go sign up to be an ICE agent? I guarantee you won't have the same sentiment. I guarantee you won't. Matter of fact, go take your ass to basic training. Oh, go to the police force. I guarantee you would not have the same sentiment that you have today. Guarantee you wouldn't. No, better yet, how about this? Go get in the fight. Go get in the fight in the streets. I guarantee you won't have the same sentiment. Guarantee you won't.
Of course, do it in a peaceful manner.
Yeah. And just again, to underscore, as we're talking to you, we're looking at live video. And look, there's a lot of law enforcement there. Just the posture that we're seeing from law enforcement in your neighborhood.
All right, let's go to MSNBC. Let's see what they got to say about this.
Trump immigration authorities launched a series of targeted raids throughout the city of Los Angeles today. And tonight, a massive protest is taking place outside the LA headquarters of ICE. NBC News political and national correspondent Jacob Soboroff is there, and he joins us now. Jacob, I had just gotten a text breaking news notification in the New York Times about this protest, which seems to be quite large. What's going on?
Let me show you, Chris. So these are two protests converging at the same time here. I want to show you this one that's coming from the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is the jail that is run by the federal government, the county and the federal government in downtown LA. It's converging with this protest. It's coming over here. Scott Killian, why don't you walk with me? Chris, what happened here today in Los Angeles, I think, is the worst nightmare for so many people who live here. You know, Los Angeles is a largely so-called minority majority city. There are just as many people of color here as there are white people. And in fact, 10% of the population of Los Angeles County, come with me, which is one of the largest counties, the largest by population in the United States, is undocumented. There could be as many as 1 million undocumented people who live here in Los Angeles. And what you saw today and what all of these people are protesting is large-scale immigration enforcement raids. What you're looking at on the left-hand side of your screen is this protest from the sky. The helicopters are directly above me. You saw, I'm sorry for the noise, but you saw tactical officers on things like Bearcat vehicles, flashbang grenades on the city streets of Los Angeles, which largely felt like, as some people described in local media, that the military was on the streets of Los Angeles. Historically, the Los Angeles Police Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement.
Look at this joker out here. Look at this dude right here, bro. Look at this dude behind him. What he doing out there? What he doing out there? This ain't your fight, man. Go home. Go home, dog. This ain't your fight, bro. Buddy right here, what kind of, you got that purple and gold on? This ain't your fight, bro. Go home, fam. Go home, dog.
Efforts. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. But when you have got ICE in Los Angeles showing up reportedly at Home Depot, where many undocumented people go to get work as day laborers, you know the National Day Laborer Organizing Network well. Many of those people responded in the wake of the fires here in Los Angeles. When you've got ICE showing up outside of places like schools, it quite literally is striking fear into the heart of people all throughout this community. And it is, I think it's fair to say, the worst fear of so many people here who live in Los Angeles and who have heard President Trump threaten that they would do this. But when this day comes on a Friday morning,
here's a bigger question though. How come nobody's talking about all the girls who got unalived by these illegal immigrants? How come they aren't protesting that? Why aren't they having that conversation? Why aren't they having that conversation? The Lake and Riley's, huh? How come they ain't having that conversation? Why aren't they protesting for that? But they mad. They mad because ICE is there to remove those individuals, those type of individuals who killed the Lake and Riley's, right? They're trying to get there to get them out of there, to send them back to where they come from. But yet they want to protest them being there. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
Stretches into a Friday afternoon. People in Los Angeles are mobilizing and they are very upset. You have Cheerla here, one of the big NGOs here that fights on behalf of immigrant rights. Everybody is out today because obviously this is not to be tolerated by these folks here on the streets of Los Angeles, Chris.
Yeah, and just to be clear here, my understanding of these raids today, these were just workplace. It wasn't like there was some list of people who they suspected were dangerous or guilty of crimes. We've seen more and more of these basically workplace raids, like show up to a place where people are employed and doing a job and go in, right? That was my understanding of what these raids were today.
That's exactly right, Chris. One was in the fashion district here, just around the corner on Alameda Street, down Alameda Street in downtown Los Angeles. Another one of them was basically, if anybody knows MacArthur Park, at a Home Depot near MacArthur Park. But the big worry here, obviously, is these collateral arrests. And we have heard statements now from the Los Angeles Unified School District, from the Los Angeles Police Department, from the mayor of Los Angeles, from many of the 15 members of the Los Angeles City Council, basically condemning these raids because of what they do to the ordinary person in Los Angeles, which is instill a massive amount of fear. I was talking to a young woman just a few minutes ago who I lost her in the crowd, but her name was Erica Perez. She said her mother was just deported earlier in the week after Erica Perez, has been a fight.
Unemployment fraud, getting paid under the table. That's exactly what that is. But hey, they out there protesting for something else. They out there protesting for something else. You screaming about wages. You hooping and hollering about wages. But yet, a lot of the illegal immigrants are getting paid under the table. But y'all out here fighting for them. Listen, bro, do your thing. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Do your thing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for that algorithm. And make sure you hit the bell notification.